Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends and fellow Africans, today we go back to Zimbabwe, just an assessment as to what has happened in Zimbabwe, what happened in Zimbabwe as far as the elections are concerned. The results, ZANU-PF won both parliamentary and presidential elections on these historic elections, first without Mugabe and Morgan Tsvangirai. It went smoothly, well, and had a flare of violence right at the end, which brings us sad yesteryear memories. Like all African elections, these were disputed before they were even started. Sometimes African politics is so cheap that they move from real issues to sick, demeaning campaigns to either government officials, to election officials and candidates. How they dress, the makeup they use and all that creepy stuff. Sometimes I wonder why we ever go to polls. Now, what could have made MDC fail to win this election? This is the issue I'm looking at. Nelson Chamisa insisted that he won the country's landmark election, calling the official results fraudulent, illegal, illegitimate, and characterized by serious credibility gaps. We won this election and we are ready to form the next government. That's what he said. We are yet to know or learn on the exact nature of the rigging the opposition is talking about. Of recent, they have submitted their issues to the Constitutional Court. But what I wanted to do was that I'll look specifically at MDC and reiterate what I think made them lose this election. I've got in point form, and I'm not going to discuss some of the issues in detail, but just to give you a snapshot of why I think they failed. And also reiterate that Zimbabwe naturally are a one-party state country. People believe that if they no longer want the sitting government, they should go to the next government. The reason why I say so is that people don't want to, they don't want people to say this political party was wrong on this aspect or that aspect or this aspect. It's a question of the emperor's new clothes. It's undiscussable. Unless you agree with them to say this is what has happened, you're ostracized, there's no calling and things like that. We miss the point. I think Zimbabwe misses the point in elections. Right, first of all, the MDC-T, split with Thokozani Kupe and the legal wrangles that followed. His failure to distance himself from the thugs who wanted to ban Mike Kupe took him 2 weeks, if not more, to make a statement about that behavior. Right, and then secondly, failure of Chamisa and the MDC Alliance to bring together all opposition forces against ZANU-PF. It's a known fact. It was a known fact before the elections that this was the only way to victory, meaning bringing all together Maimu Juru, Thokozani Kupe in this aspect who was aware, and Moyo and all the other NCA, all the other political parties. Right. Thirdly, failure to field candidates in some constituencies or doubling up like in Goromonzi, where ZANU-PF eventually won. The opposition MDC Alliance had failed to field candidates in at least 90 wards countrywide, giving ZANU-PF a head start. Also in Blue, Matebela and South, they fielded 2 candidates and splitting the vote, making ZANU-PF win. This was a complete donation to ZANU-PF. Fourthly, no election campaign plan in ZANU-PF strongholds. It was a well-known fact that ZANU-PF has strongholds, and in rural areas, UMP, Mutoko, Mandarin, Guruwe, Mureva, Rushinga, Rafingora, and etc. Also, the fifth position is his failure to manage and control primary elections and the violence that emanated, and the imposition of candidates also split the party. The sixth point, much as Chamisa is articulate, he lost trust internationally with conflicting statements. Some videos on this channel, the Trump saga, as a man who's assuming higher office, you need to be consistent with what you say. Okay, people can make a mistake here and there, but that brings doubt to the person who wants to assume higher office. The seventh point I've got is failure to manage the notion that he does not respect women and is against them. Failure to control the MDC members attacking Mrs. Chigumba, issue Linda Masarira, the Tokozani Kupe saga, failure to honor Trangirais initiatives to include Maimu Juru, the joke that went bad in the UK about his sister. Much as it was out of context, it did more damage than good. The eighth position is failure to field more women candidates in the 210 Assembly than ZANU-PF, and also failure to field youth or the young, which ZANU-PF probably had around 70 to 80 young aspiring member of parliaments so they're transforming themselves there. That was one aspect they failed. And then the ninth point I've got is lack of confidence in the electoral process. When they are reportedly, one of the authors of this document, well before the elections, this can demoralize some voters who could see this as a waste of time and do not go and vote, because they were saying it's already rigged before it actually even happened. So at the end of the day, some people would say, why waste your time, why go there? Okay, and then the 10th point I've got is that they had speech against political opponents. Tendai Biti saying Mary Chiwenga, Ihure, Tokozani Kupe, Trangirais funeral, Mai Chigumba from ZEC, the Zimbabwe Peace Project. ZPP notes with grave concern the recent statements by Tendai Biti. Tendai Biti, naturally, from my own analysis, is a learned thug, and I don't think he's a leadership quality. He's leadership material. There will be follow-up videos on why I say so and why I can prove that I don't think he is the man we want to believe he is. Much as he's learned, yes, with due respect to that, but I don't think he's leadership material. He's rabid, all his statements, everything he talks about. I think this demeans the position of Chamisa. And I'm not sure what the relationship is really with them, and I think he undermines Chamisa. Okay, the 11th point, the tone of violence that was set about Chamisa and Biti, the videos that were coming up, and even the trip they took to ZEC offices and demanding this, and Chamisa doing some pump-ups and things that this is the man who is to assume the high office. Let the little ones do it, not yourself. You lose credibility in this. You need to you need to sit in the position that you are meant to sit and behave likewise. And then the 12th point, there was the visible lack of control and discipline to party members, especially the youth. The MDC youth have become violent, right? And in fact, the MDC has taken over ZANU-PF in terms of violence. The 13th point I've got, right, his failure to disapprove that Grace Mugabe will not be in his government. This was strengthened by his failure to mention it, his team. If he wins the elections, who was going to be in there, and also the link to G40. The rumors were circulating, and the reports that Mugabe offered 24 million for their campaign, 12 cars for Chamisa to campaign, and that there was a promise of an exchange of parliamentary seats, and that Grace will be the vice president and all. This was ignored. It was not addressed. The rumor went around. And some of the members of the MDC were saying, oh, this was a case of a death, having Mugabe endorsing Chamisa. I don't know, it was left in the air hanging that some people could have a huge concern with this. Right. The 14th point I've got, right, they did not produce any tangible backup evidence to back up their sensational claims of possible rigging before the elections even happened. And we wait for the same claims after elections. Proof facts are required to any sensational claims. The 50th point is ZANU-PF. MDC has always underestimated their opponent and got complacent. Victory is not won until the last minute. Never win before you win. And then the 16th point I've got, large rally crowds did not necessarily equate to votes. Huge internet following is mostly non-voters from overseas. You can win elections online and it's very easy. Don't refuse to accept the difference. And then I've got the 17th point. MDC said they failed to pay their 44,000 volunteers, and the question is, were those that they failed to pay, were they compromised? We don't know. Right. Also, going back to the point about the numbers, in history, Kenneth Kaunda had the largest or the biggest rally crowds when the year he was defeated, and every pundit and the world said Kaunda is going to win these elections. But guess what? He lost. Coming back home, Muzorewa did the same thing as well, and he lost. And people were even being given bicycles and everything else. Right? These are the points that MDC would need to look and introspect on themselves. Seriously look at themselves. Right? Not demonize everything else, but because elections are coming again, elections will be there. But anyway, there's going to be follow-up videos on this and everything else we have discussed. Tune in to Africa, talk to me. God bless Zimbabwe, God bless Africa. Thank you.